Hey guys, it's Doria. Welcome back. Today I have my boyfriend on my channel. Why are you like this?
I don't know how to.
William is on my channel again today to go over all the TV series we watched in 2021. Woo! We did this last year and it was a lot of fun, so I'll link it down below if you want more recommendations for shows to watch. So basically what we do is we have a tier. I made it on tiermaker.com and I'll link it down below if you want to do it yourself. We add all the shows we saw this year and we rank them between amazing, good, okay, and bad, or DNF, which means did not finish. I'll show you guys what the tier looks like in a second.
Now here's how I would do an intro. Hey guys! Welcome to Story's YouTube channel. Today, we got something really special for you. If you guys haven't yet, go ahead, go down, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. It'll give you a little ding-a-ding every time Story uploads a YouTube channel, a YouTube video. And if you haven't yet, follow my OnlyFans account. Strictly nudes. A lot of feet stuff.
So this year in 2021, we watched 22 shows, which I know seems like a lot, but it actually isn't, because in 2020, we watched 32 shows because it was 2020. I've actually deleted a tier since last year. We did have a trash tier, but that was kind of irrelevant. And it can mean either good or bad, so it's kind of bad to have a tier that says trash because you don't really know if it's going to be good or bad.
Yeah.
Because I personally love trash, like in a good way, but he hates it. Like he hates anything trashy because he's like one of those annoying film lovers. Whereas I actually watch trashy reality TV shows sometimes because it's entertaining. I don't have to think about it. So amazing is like our all-time favorite shows, or any shows that are just really, really good. Have to watch them. If you haven't watched them already, what are you doing? Probably like 7 or 8 out of 10 and up. Good would probably be like 6 and 7 out of 10. Yeah, so amazing 8 out of 10 and up. Good 6 and 7 out of 10. Okay is like 3 to 5 out of 10, and then bad is probably like 2 and below out of 10. DNF means did not finish, so it was so bad that we did not finish it. I feel like we had a pretty good year. Really good shows came out.
It was a really good year for shows and movies and whatnot.
Yeah, compared to 2020, there was like jack shit. All right, so first one up is Squid Game. I always call this Squid Games. I cannot call it the right name.
What's the right name?
I think it's the Hunger Games. It's Squid Game.
It's Squid Game?
Just one game.
Well,
but there's multiple games, so.
Okay. What would you give Squid Game?
Squid Game's going in amazing.
Amazing?
100%.
Did everyone else love it? I loved it. Story loved it. What'd you love about it?
Loved it. I freaking loved this show. Very iconic show now. I wanted to rewatch it as soon as I finished it. If you know, you know. If you rewatch it the second time, you see it in a different light. Won't say why because spoilers, but I definitely want to do that now. I would say it's my most like surprising TV show.
Really?
Yeah, because everyone kept talking about how much they loved it, and I thought, well, I have to watch it just because everyone loves it, but then it surprised me how much I liked it. It's like an addicting.
Yeah, I didn't understand the hype at first until we watched the first episode, and then you're in it.
If you're going to watch this and you haven't watched it yet, it will take you a bit to get into it. Multiple people told me that they did not like it, but they would not get past like episode 2. And it's like, just keep going because it gets good. It's actually really interesting if you look into more facts about like how it was made and whatnot. Like the director had the idea for the show like 8 years ago and no one would take it. So if you don't know, Squid Game basically is a game where people who are struggling with money, they get invited to this game where they're going to win a lot of money, but the game has a lot of death involved. So in every game, people are going to die, and it's basically your fate is kind of up to chance. Plays on a lot of different things, a lot of commentary, that sort of thing, but it actually is shot beautifully, and the script is good, the characters are good.
The sets are amazing.
Yeah, all the sets were built. Kids love this show. We don't know why. Stop letting your kids watch this show. That's all I gotta say. All right, next is Midnight Mass.
Is it Mike Flanagan?
Mike Flanagan. So this is the same creator, director of The Haunting of Hill House, one of my all-time favorite shows. Yours as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
At least in horror, it's like number one. We ranked that last year. Did we rank Bly Manor last year?
I think so.
I can't remember, but Midnight Mass is his third kind of show he's came out with.
It wasn't as horror based, it's more of a drama. It definitely leans harder into like family dynamics and religious beliefs and just different world ideas and ideologies. Best version of those ideas and the worst version of those ideas.
So Midnight Mass is about a small island town, super low population, but they're all very into religion.
They all go to the same Catholic church.
And like extremely small. They have to take a ship to the mainland for a lot of like resources, and so we follow several different characters, which that's kind of how these shows usually go. You're following several different characters, and it is horror, but yeah, like he said, definitely wasn't as horror based. It is a play kind of on religion, so if you're not into that, trigger warnings, I guess, if you want to look those up. But yeah, I definitely did not like this as much as The Haunting of Hill House. I don't think anything's ever going to beat The Haunting of Hill House at this point, because Bly Manor was super disappointing for me. Bly Manor is more like creepy as opposed to horror and character based. Midnight Mass is like heavy character based, but it definitely goes more into like, yeah, like what you said, the drama and religion aspects.
Yeah.
It turns religion kind of into horror is the idea. The Haunting of Hill House is just like set the bar really high for his shows for me. And
yeah, that was an amazing show.
I would put it as slightly better than Bly Manor. Bly Manor I just can't freaking stand. But still like way below The Haunting of Hill House. So I don't know. It's gonna be either an okay or good.
I think it was good.
Good?
Yeah, just short of amazing. You know, out of all those three shows, I think this is the prettiest script. I think the other shows have more interesting characters and stuff, but I think the way they kind of draw out these ideas and these characters, I think it's really pretty.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in good for now, but I might put it in okay later on. It's definitely different. It's definitely original, and so I'll give it that. Next is Modern Family.
Amazing.
Watched Modern Family for the first time last year. He's seen it before. It was my first time watching it. Yeah, I definitely did not know how good Modern Family was.
I never finished it out though. This is my first time like finishing out the last few seasons, I guess. And I thought it would lose its funny, kind of like most shows do towards the end, but it really didn't.
I would say
that ballpark.
I would say the first 4 seasons are like pretty good. They're pretty like iconic. Yeah, I don't know if it's like amazing in a sense of like The Office or anything like that. I would still put it underneath The Office and Parks and Rec and all that, but I would say it's amazing for what it is. Yeah, I would say amazing. It's kind of almost in good though. They didn't do a very good job of evolving their characters. I think they were a little scared. I think they wanted to just keep that like original few seasons and like try to carry it out for 8 seasons.
I think sometimes shows just go on for like 1 season too long.
At the end of the show, they were like, oh yeah, we gotta do something with this character. Like the oldest daughter.
Oh yeah.
Like she just like never became a human. You've already watched The Office, Parks and Rec and all that, and you need like a good long comedy show that you don't have to think about, I would definitely watch this. Next is Loki. This is on Disney Plus. I should probably say Squid Game is on Netflix, Midnight Mass is on Netflix, Modern Family is on
Hulu.
Little backstory, got into Marvel a bit when WandaVision came out, but watched Loki right after that. It was the next show to come out. Huge disappointment.
Really?
I fucking hate this show.
Oh.
This show is fucking horrible.
Uh-oh. I think it's good.
What? You didn't like it?
It's okay.
Well, after we watched it, you didn't like it?
No, it picked up. So the first few episodes are kind of annoying, but it turns into a pretty good show, I think.
I'm putting this in bad. This is this is like, out of all these shows, this is probably the worst show out of all of them. I think it's only like 6 episodes, which, can we stop doing 6 like if it's gonna be a limited series, that's one thing, but like 6 episodes for like an actual series is just like ridiculous to me. I personally really liked Loki. He was probably like my top 3 favorite Marvel characters. This show just like was really bad. All the characters were bad. Even Loki, I didn't really like in Loki.
What about Sylvie? Was that her name, or Sylvia?
Oh, I hated her.
Oh.
I hated her, and I hated the girl.
Maeva.
Everything about the show was just absolutely ridiculous.
I liked them.
The script was bad, the characters were bad. Even at times it had like really bad CGI.
It did have terrible CGI.
Yeah. WandaVision and Loki are like not on the same spectrum in my opinion. So I'm putting it in bad.
Okay.
Next is WandaVision. So I actually did a video where I recommend books that are like WandaVision if you're a book reader. So I'll link that down below. And WandaVision's gonna go in amazing.
WandaVision was great.
So yeah, like I said, WandaVision got me into Marvel. I actually think this happened with a lot of girls because I feel like Marvel fans are mostly guys, and then for some reason it's a good like 50-50 now. So I have a friend that also got into Marvel after watching WandaVision, but this show is just brilliant. I think we should rewatch it soon.
I think we should too. This is an all-around good show. Like, it's got like some humor, some drama, some action.
I love her.
It's a whole rounded show.
Yeah, I love her. I love the like all the other characters, the politics of it. The thing that stands out the most is each show is a different decade that pays homage to a different type of sitcom within that decade.
Sitcom eras.
And if you look into the making of WandaVision, there's two different sitcoms. They play homage to. They play homage to. And if you've seen all those shows, it makes the show even more enjoyable. And so if you just have a love for TV in general, obviously you're probably going to like this. You really don't even need to be in the Marvel world or know what's going on to enjoy this show. I'm going to be watching any movie that has the Wanda character in it. For anything else Marvel I've seen, WandaVision is very high up. I really did like Spider-Man 3.
Oh, Spider-Man was fun.
That's because of the Spider-Man content. No, don't say it.
Oh.
Next is Dave. We tier ranked this last year as well, but season 2 finally came out this year, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in amazing.
Amazing.
I will say this season was weird. Dave sometimes can get into like weird sexual things. How do you describe it? Like, it's just really disturbing, sexual, weird, creepy funniness. Yeah. And there's just a touch of it in the first season, but this second season it was like a main focus, and so I would definitely say I liked season 2 less than season 1.
Really?
Season 1 was pretty iconic, but season 2 did a really good job highlighting like imposter syndrome and a lot of like type 3 type of stuff. If you're into the Enneagram, then you know I won't get into it, but I'm a type 3 and I really appreciated that part of it. But it's just a really, really funny show. If you haven't watched Dave yet, you're missing out. It's on Hulu.
It's very stressful.
Very stressful.
Yeah, the second season is riddled with stress and anxiety.
Basically, Dave is played by
Lil Dicky,
whose real name is Dave. It's a fictionalized version of his life, and he's trying to make his first album as a rapper, and he just can't do it. He's like in a creative rut. The main part is that it's really, really funny, and there's a lot of like celebrity entrances too, like rappers and whatnot. Next is Only Murders in the Building. This is also on Hulu. A lot of Hulu shows here. I'm gonna go,
I'd give it an okay.
I was trying to decide between good and amazing.
I think it's okay. I think it has some really good moments in it, but overall it's like a show when you're watching, you're like, can we just speed it up a little bit? Can we just get to where we're going?
I think it's extremely original because a lot of books are like this show. And so I would recommend this show to readers that read those types of books. I've never seen it done in a show before and like has that aesthetic and theme like it does. It's definitely a whodunit. And it's set in a apartment building in New York, and you start following all these characters. There's been a death in the past, but there's been like a lot of other things in the past you're trying to uncover. The main 3 characters start a podcast, like a true crime podcast, while the actual murder investigation is going on. And that's kind of the idea of the show, is kind of the play on all of these true crime podcasts nowadays. Yeah, really interesting, unique, different. I'm definitely watching season. I love this show. I started it right in the middle of fall, and it was just the perfect kind of like murder mystery, but like kind of original comedy. I didn't expect it to be so funny, but Martin Short is so funny in this.
Yeah, he's definitely the standout star.
Do you have anything good to say about Only Murders in the Building?
It's okay.
I loved it.
It's all right. Like you said, there's some pretty funny moments.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in good. I think for now, I just think the originality of it and how well it was put together, I think it should go in amazing. But next is Succession.
Oh wow. Amazing.
Do you want to talk about your undying love for Succession?
It's a really good show. A billionaire family, kind of based off the Murdochs. So they own like a lot of TV channels, a lot of news media,
Cruises?
theme parks. Yeah, they own like cruises and theme parks, the whole nine. Basically, the concept of the show
A
is
really rich, successful family that are like New York's elite.
it's about the three main siblings are basically always in a triangle battle over who will take over the family business from their father. Really well written. It's very fast paced and it's humorous and it's smart and it's witty. It's really fast. So if you're kind of into those type of things, then you're gonna really love this show. The characters are great. You hate them all and it makes you love them all because they're all such terrible people.
If you really like politics, shows that are political, you're really gonna like this. If you really like family dynamics, you're gonna love this because that is what this show is. It's family dynamics, but all of the characters in the family are antagonists. So if you just like watching bad people, or if you're more of like a villain person, then you'll definitely love this. For me personally, I watched one episode and I'm good. I'm like checked out at that point because a lot happens in one episode. A lot of drama. You're trying to keep up and someone's manipulating this person. There's a business deal with this thing and you have to keep up with like the family dynamics and the politics. I can see how it can be like super addicting for people, but it's super, super over dramatized. If you don't like dramas, you should not watch this show.
Yeah, if you don't like dramas, definitely do not watch the show.
But I love dramas, but I like more like trashy dramas, like very easy dramas. You know?
This is definitely a show
like
you have to pay
drama.
attention to. It definitely challenges you to, remember things and keep up with what's going on with characters and what, kind of who they are. I would put it in amazing.
He would put it in amazing. I'm gonna put it in good. It probably it's won a ton of awards. Like it definitely is like a good show. But I think for me, I can't put it in amazing.
I will say I can see this list, and of all these shows, it is the best show. That's a guarantee.
Next is Crime Scene, The Vanishing at Cecil Hotel. So we watched this a really long time ago at this point. I already knew about this story going into it. He didn't, but it was still super interesting. We watched a lot of documentaries, docuseries, that sort of thing. We definitely have less than we did last year because last year was like half of our list was docuseries. I feel like less have came out this year, but what do you think about it?
I thought it was all right. It's okay. It was good. I don't know. I really don't have a good opinion on it.
So basically this girl stays at the Cecil Hotel and it's the part of Los Angeles that was a very bad part of town. A lot of homeless people,
Like right on Skid Row.
Moved all the homeless people to Skid Row and there was just like a lot of crime happening and the police were there all the time. This girl travels from Canada, I think she lived in Canada. Young Asian girl, I think she was like 19 or 20, something like that.
Yeah, she was young.
And she decided to stay in LA by herself and just picked a hotel. This hotel, really, a lot of things have happened, like crime-wise, like too many things have happened where people have died and stuff. But this girl basically went missing, but what's weird about it is the videotapes of her, she's acting like someone is like following her or stalking her and she's like kind of spazzing out. She seems kind of like something's going on. Either she's like been drugged or someone is following her, that sort of thing. So super suspicious and there's just like no evidence. And then of course the internet sleuths come in. This was the birth of like the internet sleuths. That's how I know about it because I researched it on the internet. But yeah, super interesting. It's hard to judge this though because I feel like when it comes to the actual story, that's the interesting part. And so anyone could do the documentary and make it good. You know what I mean? But I still enjoyed it.
I mean, honestly, the more you watch it, the more you realize it's less about the mystery itself and more it is about Skid Row and kind of how this Cecil Hotel try to rebrand themselves to not be, such a bad place and things like that.
They've completely remodeled and they're trying to like rebrand themselves. They have a different name and all that, so you can actually still stay there if you'd like to.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest it though.
If you like true crime type stuff though, definitely give it a watch. I'm gonna put it in good because it was good.
Yeah.
Next is Tiger King. So this is season 2 of Tiger King. William's a big fan of Tiger King.
I love me some Tiger King.
Talks a lot about it.
I bring it up in a lot of conversations for strangers.
Yeah.
The best icebreaker I know is Tiger King.
I would say the first season is definitely better than the second season.
Yeah. 100%.
But it's still interesting, and it dives into some new topics, and the people are still just as bad. I think we know who the real villain is now, though. But also, but also this show just like freaks me out. How involved everyone is, and like the death threats that Carol Baskin. I can't say it normally.
Well,
Carol Baskin has gotten, like, it's the involvement from the community with Tiger King is just so freaking crazy. But
I would put it in okay. So when the first season of Tiger King came out and took the world by storm and was everyone's favorite thing for quite a while. Mostly because I don't think a lot of people in the US know that you could do half the shit that they do in the US. It was a big eye-opener. Apparently it's not very hard to get a lion or a tiger at all. It's more like I'll be right back with our tiger. I loved it a lot, and then the second season came out. I watched it. There's some very, very funny parts. There's one part where on January 6th, Joe and his friends show up to the Capitol with Free Joe Exotic signs. They obviously get kicked out, but they're in a limo and they're leaving, and the guy looks to his other friend and he says, "Do you think anyone noticed our signs?" And
that's kind of like a read the room situation.
Yeah, it's like a read the room. So things like that still crack me up, but overall it wasn't as fun.
And I should also say we're ranking these by seasons as well. So like Dave, obviously, like I'm ranking this by season 2. Tiger King and Cecil Hotel, both on Netflix, and then where can they watch Succession?
HBO Max. So.
All right, next is Love Island America specifically. So I've watched.
Amazing.
I've never watched UK actually. I tried to get into it, and UK is just too cringe for me. I love Love Island Australia, by far the best one out of the 3. But I watched last year Love Island America season 2 and 3. Can we just talk about how it's not even called Love Island America? They just took over the name. It's called Love Island now because that's what America does, I guess.
That's what we be doing.
Season 2, really liked. Probably better than season 1. But then season 3, definitely the best season yet when it comes to all the people that are on it. Yeah, very trashy romance reality TV show. All these people get put in a house and they have to find their match. I love this show. This is one of my favorite reality shows. I'm putting it in amazing.
Okay.
I would probably put season 2 in like okay or good, but season 3 was pretty good. Love Island, but Australia, by far the best.
Australia is the best. And you know why? It's because they have more personality. You know what I've realized from watching these reality shows? Is that people in the US have no goddamn personality at all. To be the stars of personality TV shows, we don't have much of it.
You're getting really loud. It is very true though, like it's such a stark difference when you go in between the shows because people in Australia know how to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
Like they're very aware of themselves and they're very aware of like their feelings and emotions, and they can communicate it to each other. The people on Love Island America don't know what the fuck is going on, like ever. And everyone's like manipulative, but I mean that's what's great about it.
They're always crying.
That's what's so great about reality TV, but like I don't know. I find the Australia one entertaining just because that's not my own culture, I guess. Like, they're just like superior humans. I don't know. Next is Umbrella Academy. It's on Netflix. We watched that for the first time this year, and we didn't watch it until after season 2 came out.
Oh yeah, so we binged like 2 seasons, right?
Mm-hmm. So season 3 should be coming out here soon. I have a weird thing with this show. I hated this show at first. Mm-hmm. Season 1, could not fucking stand this show.
I wanted to keep going.
Season 2 did make me appreciate the show more, and I did like it more. And then I felt very weird. I was like, man, I had a very strong hate for this show, and now I'm kind of into it. It's original in a sense, but the problem I had with it were the music videos. So
oh gosh,
they have these little like transitions where they just do this like quick music video with a character, and they're doing really ridiculous shit in slow-mo,
like,
and I could not fucking stand it.
Yeah, so the first season they had a really bad issue with doing some silly stuff, but I really liked the characters. I thought they were all really cool and unique in their own way. and the storytelling was like pretty good.
Yeah.
And then like they're doing like really
characters
dumb
are
things
doing really dumb things in slow-mo.
that doesn't really make sense to what's happening around them.
I love that each season is like a different decade at this point. I'm really excited to see what they do with the third season. We have a new set of characters, a new family introduced, so it's probably going to be like their enemy family or something like that. Definitely its own thing.
I would call it good. I wouldn't call it amazing, but it's definitely better than okay.
Like after season 2, I kept thinking about it. And it wasn't because it was amazing. Like it was its own thing.
It's fun. I've never seen a show that had so many characters where they felt all so important, if that kind of makes sense.
This is based off a comic book, by the way, that was done by Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance.
Really? That's amazing.
I told you about this when we watched it.
I did not remember.
So it's already, it does keep those same like moody, dark themes that he obviously has. Next is Emily in Paris. I fucking love
amazing
Emily in Paris.
I did not watch this show. Not because I didn't want to, just because Story just watched it when I wasn't around. I don't know.
You didn't even watch the first season.
I don't want to be mean, but I feel like it's a show I could watch season 2 and pick up on what's going on.
So this is a big change from last year because I put it in trash, but I was putting it in good trash. And I have a very special relationship with this show as well because I hated this show the first like 3 episodes. Really hate its take on marketing, at least in the first season. Definitely misrepresents someone in the marketing career. I am in marketing. And it just focuses too heavy on social media. She basically becomes an influencer overnight, and then in her marketing job, she's just doing social media. So it's like, okay, she should not be working at the most prestigious marketing firm in France selling luxury goods if this is all she's doing. That's how I feel about that. Continue with the show anyways, and it is really good drama, really good trashy, kind of like rom-com-y. It's definitely a girl show. It's really into like fashion, marketing, adventure, travel, romance, that sort of thing, which a lot of girls are super into.
Everyone in it is really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just full of beautiful people. I at least know that.
I will say season 2, I eat this show up. I watched like 3 episodes in a row, 4 episodes. I think I finished in like 2 days. Love Gabriel. He's my favorite character. Well, I like Emily as well, but I don't know. It's just like my dream job to work in a marketing firm in France. I literally am Emily, like, you know what I mean? I'm Emily in America, so I feel like if I was put in Paris, I'd be Emily in Paris.
All right, next one.
Next is You, season 3.
Woo!
I'm gonna go ahead and put this in fucking horrible.
Whoa. Okay.
So the show overall,
I was thinking like good.
the show overall is great. So I read the book, and the first book is Season 1, like 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. The book is amazing. Read the book if you haven't. Season 2 is like a 3 out of 5, and season 3 is like a 0 out of 5. Season 3, just straight downhill. I mean, it's just, I don't know what they're doing with the show. I'm hoping they come back for season 4. He's now in France. So I'm hoping they do something like different and interesting. I hope they go back to how they did season 1. I think when they introduced Love, I think Love's whole character just like fucked up the show. Because season 2 was just like so drastically different since they're in LA with all these vegan type people. Season 1, they're in New York. Following just like New York people. So I don't know, it's just very drastically different. Then we follow him and Love as they are in this super like rich neighborhood. I think her whole character just fucked up the show. I don't know what it is, but it was so ridiculous and so much sex. Like sex every
so much. It was a dumb amount of sex. Like honestly, the 3rd season of You is like any season of Desperate Housewives. I mean, that's what it is.
That's what they did. Is they basically took Desperate Housewives and they just redid it.
You know what I think? So the first season's like totally character based, and we're starting to see him get stuck in these situations, which are really entertaining. And then the 2nd season, I feel like they went a little bit more focused on the story and this new Love character to kind of give him this opposite. Wasn't great. This 3rd season was like, let's just dig both of them holes and then watch them get out of it. And I think the audience kind of caught on to that and didn't really like it.
I don't know. It seems like other people liked it. I felt like I was the only one that didn't like it, but...
Well, I felt like, I was like, I see what they're just digging holes for these 2 people so that we can watch them get out of the holes, and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a bunch of new characters get introduced that are just dumb, and the storyline is dumb. Next is much better. We have Parks and Rec.
Amazing! Leslie Knope.
Yeah, Leslie Knope has a special place in my heart.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but I just love Leslie Knope so much. Michael Scott is still my all-time favorite, but I think Leslie Knope is probably second for me. I kind of relate to her a bit.
So if you're gonna follow up a show like The Office with something, Parks and Rec really holds its own weight, and just like The Office, all their characters are super lovable and super funny in their own way.
I personally think The Office
amazing.
is way better than Parks and Rec. I think The Office is way better than most things.
I agree.
I like it specifically because it's based in a fictional town in Indiana, and I'm from Indiana, and there's just like so many Indiana references that are just like fucking hilarious. So I feel like it's funnier if you are from Indiana. I would say Ron and Andy are the funniest for sure.
Yeah.
I would expect Amy Poehler to be a bit funnier, to be honest, but I think she's the lovable character.
Yeah, well, she's super hilarious in her own right, but I feel like she's the character. It's like we have to drive the story forward.
Yep.
Yeah. So
next is Vampire Diaries. So Vampire Diaries is going in amazing as well.
I've never seen a worse TV show about anything in my life except maybe Guy's Grocery Game starring Guy Fieri.
I've been making him watch Food Network. So, as most of you know, I'm a big vampire girl. I should not say
I'm
that.
a vamp girl.
I'm a vamp girl.
I'm a vamp girl.
Love Vampire Diaries. I watched this when it was on air. I also watched it on Netflix once, and I've watched it again on Netflix. So basically I stopped after season 6 because that's when Nina Dobrev leaves. I hate season 7 and 8. So I believe I watched like 1 through 4 in 2020, and then I watched the last couple seasons in 2021. So yeah, I'm not gonna be a broken record, but Vampire Diaries is fucking awesome. This is what I was talking about earlier about dramas. I love dramas that I don't have to think too much. The writers are really good. I don't care what he says. The writers are really good in Vampire Diaries. They're really good with like drama and keeping track of all the characters and making like where they intertwine and like all the shit that happens. I obviously love the main characters of Vampire. I just love following the main characters. Next is Dr. Death. This is on Peacock.
Peacock, yeah.
Peacock. This is basically over the actual doctor in real life who wasn't very good at being a doctor, so he would like kind of fake surgeries. He would fake like he knows what's going on, and he would literally mutilate these people.
Yeah.
And he did it for it's kind of like the opposite of imposter syndrome.
Yeah, like a god
complex.
Ego.
Yeah, like
complex.
he is posing, but in his mind, he can like do no wrong because he just keeps trying. He always thinks like, oh, you can keep trying, and then like he would just cover things up. But this is a real story. We listened to this on a podcast when we were traveling, and then the show came out, so we watched it. The show's pretty good.
Yeah, the show is based on the podcast, which I would recommend listening to the podcast first and then go watching the show, because they do kind of go hand in hand.
I like the way the podcast lays it out as well, but yeah, I'm gonna put it in good as well.
Yeah, or you can watch the show and then go listen to the podcast for any questions that you have, because if you watch this before listening to the podcast, you will be like, what in the fuck?
They have real audio clips of the real people as well. Next is Gilmore Girls. This is my ultimate comfort show. This will be on the list every year because I have to watch it at some point. Really good in the fall. I didn't watch it this fall though. I watched it in the spring and summer for some reason. I've never watched it in those seasons, but I usually watch like 2 seasons worth, and then I'm good for a while. Then I'll watch another 2 seasons. And you don't really like, once you've seen it once, you don't have to like watch it all the way through unless you want to, kind of like The Office. You just know which seasons, what happened.
Random episode.
Yeah, like I have the seasons in my head of what happened, so I know I can just, like if it's a fall day and I'm like, oh, I want to watch a fall episode of Gilmore Girls, I know where to go. That sort of thing. But it's definitely a comfort show. It'll always make me feel better, and I don't even have to like be watching it. It can just be playing in the background, and it's just like an immediate like booster. I would say it's probably the equivalent of The Office for you as like a comfort show, which I think The Office is a comfort show for me at this point as well, but like Gilmore Girls will always be like my #1 comfort show. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in amazing. It definitely has it's very original. It has a very specific humor, very fast talking, so you have to keep up, but you get used to it after a while. Next is The Circle. So you can watch this on Netflix. It's a reality show. It's a social media experiment is what they call it. So they put all these people in a house, and they have their own social media account, but they can be catfish if they want. They can be their own person, but they are basically battling to be influencers every week, and then the influencers get to choose who leave. and the person that is number one at the end gets $1 million. No,
I think it's like $100 grand.
100 grand or something. Someone needs to tell them that MTV is giving people $1 million when they win reality shows, because Netflix for some reason is like, no, we'll settle at 100 grand.
Yeah, Netflix is like, they'll do it for 50.
I love this show. This is one of my favorite reality shows. Probably second to Love Island. I think I'll always choose Love Island over The Circle, but really, really, really entertaining. It has your attention every like split second.
How'd you feel about this season though? I wasn't a big fan of this season.
We watched 2 seasons this year.
I'll tell you what, I am normally not a fan of these type of shows, but this show is always fun for the most part. And even the parts where it's so ridiculous and you're like, this is so drawn out and scripted and whatever, it's still really fun. The last season they came out with, I felt kind of bored with though. I don't know why. I think it's the personalities. I think
it's getting to a point where it's very strategic. I think the people that are coming on is like they know the setup of the game and they've planned things out and they've studied and like they can watch the other seasons, and so it's extremely strategic now, so it's almost more interesting.
The writers and the producers of the show are trying to get too clever, and I think what makes this show is so fun is that it is full of
Idiots.
unclever people, but interesting people. They're all interesting though. And I think that makes it really fun. First season is always the best. The second season is okay. Third season,
the second season's good as well.
Yeah, second season's good. Third season I wasn't in love with.
Okay, I'm the opposite. I thought every season it got better. So it's gotten so popular on Netflix that they're doing it every 6 months instead of a year, which I fucking love. I will definitely watch this every 6 months. I thought each season gets better because, like I said, they get more strategic, which that's when I start to like it, because I love strategy-based things. Because I always think like, oh, I would do this in this scenario. Yeah, I'm gonna put in Amazing. It's gonna go up there with Love Island as well. Next is Black Mirror. So I added this because we watched maybe like 3 seasons of it. So I basically showed him my like top 3 favorite shows, and then we just continued it for a while. If you don't already know, Black Mirror is my all-time favorite show. I hate that I have to wait so long for their seasons to come out. It started coming out in 2011. I didn't watch them until like...
Started coming out in 2011? Wow.
No one knew about it.
Wow. I didn't know about that.
I started watching in like 2014, 15, and then it didn't blow up until Miley Cyrus was on it in like 2018, when people actually started watching it. But
the first time I saw it was like 2016.
Anyways,
2015, 2016.
We watched that season with Miley Cyrus. I'm putting in Amazing, obviously. If you haven't seen Black Mirror, just let this be your sign to see it. It's on Netflix. Really, really clever writers. It's basically a take on different technological advancements. You're in the immediate future, and you just kind of see how everything plays out. You never really know what's going on at the beginning of the show, so it's kind of a mystery. You gotta kind of have to like piece things together, and that's what I love about it. I love realistic sci-fi, I've realized.
Yeah, the writing in it is genius. It's made by like the 2 same people. They do a really good job. They predict the future a lot, honestly.
Next is New Girl. So this is a personal favorite for both of us, so I'm just gonna go ahead.
Hey girl!
And put it in Amazing.
What you doing?
We love New Girl. This was my first time watching it.
It's not my second time.
So
I'm a big fan of sitcoms, if you guys don't.
We started it in 2020, finished it in 2021. I had a roommate in college that would watch this, and she wouldn't wear headphones, so I remember getting really annoyed at listening to the people talk, and I don't hate her now for it because I get it. It's addicting. It's a good show. It's basically Friends, but set in LA in like modern times, I would say. It's one girl in a house with 3 other guys, and then she has a best friend as well, so it's basically like 2 girls and 3 guys, or 4 guys, because one guy comes in and out.
Yeah.
But yeah, just super fucking funny. So I just like crave this show sometimes. Randomly, I'm like, oh, I just want to watch New Girl right now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a fan favorite. It's funny, it's cute, it's heartwarming. The last but not least. This one hits home for us.
You're really loud. Last is The Way Down. This is a documentary that was on
HBO Max. Executive produced by Chrissy Teigen.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you want to cut that out or keep it. I don't know what her position is in life right now.
So I'm gonna put this thing good. So this is over at Cult that was in Brentwood, Tennessee, which is about 10, 15 minutes away from us.
I actually looked up the church address. It is exactly 13 minutes from where Story and I live right now in Nashville.
Yeah, so
I've driven by it 4 times.
we had no idea about this. Apparently it was completely taken down in 2020.
Yeah, 2019, I think.
Yeah, so it's literally still kind of fresh. Girl who I think was trying to be Dolly Parton, I think she idolized Dolly Parton, started a cult off of a religion, which happens a lot with cults, where she tried to make people devoted to God by losing weight. And there's a lot of other things in there as well. Like she tried to, she basically made them discipline their kids, like basically beat their kids. She married this guy that like was...
He was an actor.
He was trying to be a musician. He was a little weird as well. And so you follow his first wife, who is trying to get full custody of their daughter so that the daughter won't be with the girl, because the girl literally is a cult leader. And it's, yeah, super interesting. And we obviously didn't know anything about it, but it's just kind of like mind-blowing.
Yeah, she sold a lot of weight loss programs. It ends with a plane crash. I will not tell you the results of this plane crash, but it also happened about 20 minutes from me and Story also live. Lot of crazy stuff. It's one of my favorites just because I can go drive and see it.
It's just funny how like no one here knew about it, but anyways, yeah, docuseries, pretty good. If you like docuseries, check it out on HBO. Yeah, that kind of concludes all the shows we watched and how we're tier ranking. Like, if you just look at this, we have so many shows on the amazing tier and a lot on the good tier. Yeah. There's only 2 on the bad tier and 1 on okay. So we had a really good watching year, streaming year, I guess.
This year was nothing but net. It was nothing but net this year.
Yeah.
I'm really happy about how everything turned out. I was a little disappointed in Tiger King. Oh well.
If you got
how do you top the first season?
If you had to pick your top 3 shows in the amazing tier, what would they be? I know the first one.
Put them in the comments. Tell us what you watched this year. Maybe your shit isn't even on this list and I'm gonna watch it later. Number 1 is Succession. Well, okay, no. This year alone, 2021, number 1 is WandaVision. Number 2 is Succession.
Really?
Yeah, I loved WandaVision. I thought they were really fun. Number 3, Midnight Mass. I would say number 3 is Midnight Mass.
Oh wow, okay.
There's just a really beautiful scene in Midnight Mass that I think I've thought about like.
So I'm not going to include Gilmore Girls or Vampire Diaries, obviously, because it's not very fair. It's not like new. I would say for number 1, it's between WandaVision and Squid Game. So those would be number 1 and 2. I honestly can't decide which one. Maybe WandaVision, but they're so different, so it's hard to say. And then number 3, I really love New Girl though. New Girl is like an all-time favorite for me, so I think it has to be New Girl. I really like Dave though. I really like Emily in Paris. I'm really liking Parks and Rec right now. We're on season 7 out of 8. I think New Girl's ahead of Dave, but Dave and Emily in Paris would be 4 and 5, I think. If you want to see more of William, we're going to be doing this year's Oscar predictions and then Oscar reactions like we did last year, or at least we're planning to. We'll see what happens. But for now, please like the video if you like this video. If you like TV, if you like streaming, subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it if you feel like it. And I'll see you in my next one.
Wait. Also, in the comments, put what you watched so that we can go and look at those. And then if there's anything that's not on that list, we'll watch it. And then maybe
it'll be on next year's
It'll be on next year's list. You wait a whole 12 months to see it come full circle.
Okay, bye.
Bye.